It's a dry winter night in Edo. Somewhere, a single small flame tips over. In a city of wood and paper, that is all it takes. The alarm bells start to ring, and the firefighters come running. But watch closely. They don't reach for water. They reach for hooks, and they start tearing the houses down. Because in old Tokyo, the way to fight a fire was to wreck the city yourself. Here's why. First, understand what Edo was up against. 1 million people in homes of wood, paper, and straw, packed wall to wall. Every single home had open flames. For cooking, for light, for warmth, and in winter, dry winds came howling down across the city. It was the perfect recipe for disaster. And disaster came, again and again. Historians count the major fires in the dozens, and the small ones beyond, counting. The worst, in 1657, burned most of the city to the ground. It's said it killed around 100,000 people. The city simply had to start over. Fire was so constant that it became a grim kind of pride. Fires and quarrels, people said, are the flowers of Edo. So how do you fight a fire in a city that catches this easily? Not with water. That's the surprise. They did have hand pumps, but they were weak, more for show than for stopping flames. And you could never move enough water fast enough to fight a fire this big. So Edo's firefighters used a completely different weapon: destruction. The idea was simple and brutal. A fire needs fuel, so you take the fuel away. The firefighters ran ahead of the flames and pulled down every building in their path. Roofs, walls, whole houses, torn apart with iron hooks and muscle. They weren't putting the fire out. They were building a gap it could not cross. A firebreak of empty space, made by wrecking the city on purpose. And the men who did this became legends. The town firefighters were organized into companies, 48 of them. Each one was named after a letter of the old Japanese alphabet. Most of them were tobi, the scaffolders and construction workers of Edo, which makes sense. Their whole job was climbing high and tearing things down. They were tough, tattooed, and famously rowdy. Rival companies even brawled with each other, sometimes right there at the fire. There's your quarrels. Half firefighter, half street celebrity. To Edo, these men were rock stars, and every company had a symbol it lived and died for: the matoi. A matoi was a tall, heavy standard, topped with a bold shape and dangling paper streamers. When a fire raged, one man carried it up onto a rooftop, right at the edge of the flames. He climbed to the very building they had chosen to defend, and there, in the smoke and the heat, he held the matoi high. It meant one thing: the fire stops here. We do not fall back past this point. While he stood there, his company tore down everything behind him. If the flames pushed past the matoi, it was a disgrace. So the standard-bearer simply did not move, however close the fire came. It was insane bravery. It was also pure showmanship, and the crowd loved it. Off the rooftops, ordinary people learned to live with fire too. Precious things went into thick-walled fireproof storehouses. When a fire neared, people sealed the doors shut with wet mud and clay. And most families simply didn't own very much. Why fill your home with things when it might all burn next winter? After every big fire, an army of carpenters and tobi rebuilt the city in weeks. Fire wasn't just a danger in Edo. It shaped how people lived and what they owned. So here's the strange truth. Edo never really beat fire. It couldn't. Instead, it learned to live inside the danger. It turned firefighting into demolition and firefighters into heroes. It made an enemy that returned every winter into a part of who the city was. Sometimes you don't defeat the thing you fear. You just learn to dance with it. But notice the one thing that could never reach a fire in time: water. So how did 1 million people get their water in the first place? Edo's answer was a hidden marvel. That's the next video. If old Japan keeps surprising you, subscribe. and let's keep poking around it together.